Welcome to another episode of Cup of Joe. So you get your daily Cup of Joe from a couple of Joes, or your weekly Cup of Joe if you're an asshole and just listen to the full podcast.
I think Obama is like the perfect embodiment of, I don't think the president actually makes all that much difference.
Yeah.
I really liked everything that he
Absolutely
said. All of the things. How much actually got done, I don't think it's not because he wasn't effective or didn't want them to be done. It just...
the way the system works.
The system is slow moving. And that's great. That's how it was intended. It
was.
Not for the mood of the country to sway drastically every 4 years. That's a good thing that it moves so slowly. But yeah.
And it's really, the lobbyists, they don't have term limits. Lobbyists are in it for, 40, 50 years. They're the ones giving the money to the interest, and that's not who really fucking control shit. Congress, no term limits.
Yeah,
they
fuck
can,
that.
They can fucking invest in the stock market. Why? There's nothing that you could do in the stock market that would not be insider information. There's nothing. You literally are making financial policies and then getting rich off of it. And this is on both sides.
Yeah.
Now, not to say that I use this thing that copy trades them. They have to put their stuff out there, and now it copy trades them 30 days after they do it. But I still have a pretty good portfolio, just doing what these fuckers do.
Right.
Because we know they have the inside information. If you just got the money out, you'd actually have civil servants, man. And they could actually do a good job.
And put term limits on it?
Yep, term limits. And there's people at lower levels of government that, regardless of their political affiliation, do that shit right. Kind of like Obama was a community organizer.
Yep.
That brings people together.
I think if you put term limits on it, that way it doesn't become your life. It shouldn't be your life.
It should not be a career.
I'm here to make the country as great as I can for the next
10 years.
4 to 8 to 10 years. Yeah, whatever.
Let's just put a number there.
But I don't think you should have someone 80, 90 years old on their deathbed running this country. Because it doesn't help anyone.
You're talking about somebody that literally grew up in the 1950s. What are we talking about?
Fucking earlier for some.
What kind of laws were in place then that they still think exist now?
Yeah, like some were
what kind of science?
Someone that were in their 20s and 30s in the 60s when the civil rights movement was happening.
Exactly.
I think like a lot of things, like they want your police force to match your demographic of the community that you're policing.
Makes sense.
That's the goal. That's not the way that it is right now, but that is the goal. Yeah. Congress people, senators, that should match as well.
It should. They're our appointed officials. They should represent us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like,
of course, not 14-year-olds that fucking. But can we get some? Like, I'm down with a 25-year-old. I'm down with a 40-year-old. I'm down with a 35-year-old congressperson. Absolutely.
But I think if you've been in like Joe Biden is a really good example of this.
Yeah.
He's been in politics
entire life. Basically.
What, 40 years?
40, 45
something like that?
Yep.
You cannot relate to me.
At all.
You've been, insulated on your entire life.
Yep.
You cannot relate to normal people. The majority of the country you cannot relate to.
They're also rich.
Yeah.
Which is a hugely unrelatable thing.
Yep. Rich and insulated from everything.
Right.
Like, you've had Secret Service your entire life.
You
have no fucking idea what it's like. You have no idea.
As just a regular, typical American.
Yep. So that's why there needs to be term limits.
I almost think it should be like jury duty.
Yep.
Like, you're summons, motherfucker. You got to come decide on this bill. I don't want to be here.
Well, it's fucking crazy, man. This isn't a right or left issue.
Which one?
The term limits.
Oh, no, not at all.
If you were to take a text vote, which I think that we're kind of getting to that point of like, do we really
need... I said
need
this in a song I made 13 years ago. I swear to you that we all have cell phones with basically MAC addresses, the MEID, that are linked to us. If we had an official government app and you turn the camera on when we voted, you could see who voted and what we voted for.
Yep.
And you'd have 70% of people vote instead of the fucking 10%.
But right now, we don't have Congress people, senators that represent what their constituents want.
Correct.
I understand why it was invented. I love...
Yeah, the theory behind it. It's great.
Yeah, because back in the day, couldn't get everyone in the country to ride their horses over to
It'd
vote.
be impossible.
We have that ability now. That way you get the voice of the people actually being heard if everyone is voting on, and I'm not saying majority rule, I'm saying your district voting on a certain
Yeah,
thing.
because you'd be voting specific to your area.
Yeah, I'm not saying like majority rule. I like the republic version of it. I don't like a true democracy.
Or maybe it's like it is, right? You if you're in that county, you get to vote for that county thing.
Yeah.
If you're in the state, you get to vote for the state thing. And then some things at the federal level, you get to vote on too.
But if we were to vote that way, term limits would be installed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every side believes that. There's no one that believes that there should be unlimited, except for the people in power. They can change that law.
People that are there.
The people that can change it are the ones that don't want it to go away. And that's why it doesn't change.
Such is any institution with power, as we've discussed on the cast before.
Corruption at the highest level.
The highest levels, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep.
Even in weird, tiny ways, like that Stanford prison experiment.
Oh, I love
like
the
this?
Stanford
You like
prison experiment. Fuck yeah.
Because you were a correctional officer at one point.
Absolutely. If you have not seen it, there is a movie on
There
it.
is a doc, yeah, it's really fucking good.
It's really good. Basically, they had 20 people or something like that sign up for an experiment. They had no idea what they were doing.
Nope.
They literally flipped a coin.
And that's what they got.
Each person, they were either going to be a prisoner or a guard. And they viewed this, I don't know, the time limit. I think it was only like a couple days.
It was supposed to be 30, I think, but they stopped that shit.
Yeah.
Because it got so fucking crazy.
And they did not install rules. They just said, do it.
You're a guard, you're a prisoner.
And they tortured the fuck out of these people. And yeah, they had to stop
They had to stop it.
because people were going to die. It's just crazy that kind of power can instantly go to your head. So we had to learn about that.
And it was just the perception of the power, too. You didn't have any actual power. We flipped a fucking coin to decide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, the mindset of the prisoner, too, was like, okay, I'm a prisoner, so I get...
Yeah,
Fuck that, I'm fighting you.
absolutely. Oh, man. It's... that's crazy. That
Perspective is 100% everything.
100%. Either side says the far left, the far right, those are the crazy ones.
Yeah.
I disagree.
It's the centrist.
It's the people that can be swayed off of
my God.
watching a debate.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, now I feel this way.
Undecided voters are the stupidest motherfucking Americans in the world. If you don't fucking decide, you're waiting for something to come out for you to decide. Oh, I liked how he looked at that thing, or I liked how she did that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I feel like politics for the last 15, 20 years, it is black and white. It's very clear which side they stand on.
Yeah.
How are you trying to pick orange? Or not orange. Like, how are you trying to pick...
Because that would be red.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Like, how are you trying to pick a different color? Like, it's
Or
black
even-
or it's white. Like,
Or even voting for, a third party candidate, which is...
yeah.
I get the idea that we do have a political system that allows for it. You could write in a fucking name.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really want something to count, you have to vote for one of the candidates we put up. Nobody's ever wanted as a third party or even come fucking mildly close.
All they've done is, like, fucked up elections.
Exactly. That 4.5% could have gone to somebody that could have made a deciding factor.
Right. We have a broken political system.
Absolutely.
I don't know how to...
Does anybody have one that works, though? Like, I'm sure there's shit that works better than ours. I'm sure there's shit that works worse than ours. But does anyone out there have a political system that actually does the right thing for the people? And
No.
No.
No, that does not exist.
No. I think because as humans, we're naturally flawed. Any system that we're going to design or build has our flaws in it.
Right. I think the way our system was developed was probably the closest thing, minus all the racist slave shit.
Yeah.
you write all that part out, it's probably pretty close. Although that was never written in. If you take exactly what
what it says.
our Constitution says and apply that exactly, like
It's pretty.
it's close.
It's close. That's why people want to live here. People want to jump in the border.
Well, what's great about our Constitution is they said there's a living document. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
This shit's got to change all the
has to.
time.
Has to, not should, or we should relook at this. This has to change with the times.
Yeah, they said, hey, we know we're not the fucking, like, we have no fucking idea what the future holds.
Yep.
Right now, I think this is the best we can do. This is going to need some revisions.
As soon as we get new information, we need to look at this shit again. And some of those haven't been looked at in forever or reinterpreted, or
Right.
some of them have been and interpreted to be less restrictive than they were supposed to be, or less the other way. Yeah, we at least somewhat feel like, let me say it, have the illusion that we get to say what happens here.
The illusion of choice.
Right. Realistically, the political party that you choose to be in power can make a slight bit of difference. It takes time to see that difference. And most likely, it's the corporations and where the money is that are actually lobbying and creating difference over time through Congress. Congress can create much more difference because they're lifetime appointments and they can get in there and fuck up everything.
Yes.
So, please vote this year. Please vote every fucking year. And more importantly, vote for your local things too. That shit actually impacts you on an everyday basis.
Yep.
Like new taxes that are going to be on your county or your housing. Vote on all that shit.
Yeah.
And pick your presidential candidate from one of the fucking two that are available. Not that fucking tough.
90% of the country doesn't want either one.
Right. And we agree with you. No, this is how it fucking works, okay?
I did see that there might be something different this election that hasn't happened since 1988.
Okay, what?
Every single president that's ever been elected in their first term has come in with the House and the Senate on their side. So a lot has gotten done in those first 2 years, and then people get really pissed off at what's happening.
And
so then
they
switch it out and
split.
This year it's predicted to be a split regardless of who wins,
Really?
which is going to slow everything down.
For sure.
On one side, if you have like Trump win, he can't get much done because he only has the 4 years. That's it.
Yep.
For Kamala Harris, it could work to her benefit, and then she gets to take over in the midterms and
Right.
get other stuff done. But that could also get her elected out after 4 years. So
Sure. Politics is a crazy thing.
I wonder what the record is for the most one terms in a row is.
Of presidencies? Good question. I mean, you're considered a failed president if you have one term.
Right.
Are you considered a failed president if you step down from the second term? I think you are, right?
Yeah,
I think Joe will be considered a failed president.
I think so. I think in the grand scheme of things, I think in certain ways, when he leaves office, the economy is in a lot worse shape than when he took over.
Joe Biden? There's certain economic indicators that would agree with you. There's others that say he inherited a crazy thing and it could have been worse. I can run things a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
How much has it affected you personally? What do you think?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Probably.
Not a lot.
And I think most of us will say that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way about COVID and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
me personally, not a lot of.
Yeah. I mean, we do have some personal effects that we don't even think about, like higher groceries, higher gas.
Totally.
Higher things like that, of course. But it, there's been bad times and good times with each party in power.
100%.
And really, I don't think there are some economic policies that a president and a house can create that can boost things, and the Fed can cut rates and all this stuff, which the Fed just added 0.5%, which is crazy.
Yep.
But the whole system as itself has already been set up in a way that you're never gonna win. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no. We got to just get it as good as we can get.
Absolutely. It's just arguing to argue.
Whatever they say, we're gonna do, or it's gonna be put upon us, and that's fucking it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why we vote for the local stuff too, because like a gas hike or a thing that can really affect you here, where it's not affecting other people.
Yeah.
I just say educate yourself. Don't vote on the things you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to vote on certain issues if you don't have any fucking idea what they're about.
Right.
And the way that these local ones are worded too, the propositions, like this proposition is so to not allow that we don't do the like. Wait.
Yeah.
Are you saying we can do this, or what the fuck are you?
Something I wish they had. Part of me wishes it was mandatory. Other parts of me just voluntarily.
Yeah.
That you could take like a class, like a state-funded. Like, all right, we're gonna
class.
We're gonna educate you on exactly what this is gonna do.
There's a lot of money in lawmaking, and yeah, the English language is what most contracts are written in too, because there's so many ways to get out of what you said and how you said it.
And that's why all the politicians from the start to now are usually lawyers.
Oh yeah, lawyers do the best. And we saw actually Kamala do a really good job as a prosecutor on that stage in the debate, doing two things at once.
Yep.
Saying her stance, goading you, just like a prosecutor does.
Yep.
And I think that, honestly, Trump looks really old now. He looks like, you can see the old guy in the race is him now. He was really winning that when Joe was the running. And now he's the dude. He's saying weird shit. Well, he always says weird shit. But
Yeah. I just think he just puts himself in bad situations a lot.
Impossible situations.
And it's just like, all right, I mean, you could have responded with like 5 different things and he could have easily won that debate, because I don't think she did a good job.
He could have.
She did a lot better than he did.
He did an abysmal job. That's what happened.
Yeah. And so many points it's just like, okay, say this now and you're going to win that point.
Or just stop fucking talking right there.
Yeah. It's like in an interview, they stay silent on purpose.
Yep.
To let you try to hang yourself. You try to fill that empty space because it's uncomfortable. He never feels uncomfortable because there's always more to say.
There's never enough time. There's never enough. And another assassination attempt. Now, I guess it is an attempt. I mean, the guy was set up with a gun.
100%.
Yeah. And really big of Kamala to call him.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, Trump has come out and said that he really appreciated her call, and she was very nice, and said the same thing about Joe Biden, and actually said, he's like, I wish he didn't call me because he was such a nice guy about it.
I know. And it was at a rally that he said that and got booed, and he quelled the booing.
100%.
Yeah. So like shit like that. Would he have called her? Fuck no.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or maybe that is not even her. Maybe that's just a, hey, it looks good if you do. And he would have gotten the same advice. Hey, it looks good if you do.
I think it's
probably both.
It's politics on both sides.
Yeah.
I think the first one was obviously way bigger than this one.
For sure.
I don't know if a call was warranted on this one.
Maybe
Call
the
was
first
warranted
one.
on the first one for sure.
Did you see Elon's tweet or X, whatever the fuck we call it now?
Which one?
He said, and nobody's even trying to kill Joe Biden and Kamala, or nobody's even trying to assassinate them.
Yeah.
And he deleted it 2 seconds later. But obviously, it's X, it lives on. Like, I don't know if you should have somebody that controls a system that's that big be able to influence their political ideology on it. I mean, but that's with anything.
Yeah.
Even like a fucking university is the same fucking way.
Yeah, I mean, then you get into like the Taylor Swiftness of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, she has a lot of followers, but she doesn't own the platform, right? If I own the platform, I can stop shit from being shown, which it should be freedom for everyone, right?
Right.
You can say you'd want them to be assassinated or whatever, and Taylor can say what she wants to say, and everybody gets to see it. It's when you start suppressing one of those on either side.
Well, that's the argument, is that's what happened last year, or the last election.
In Twitter, for
Yeah.
specifically for Democrats, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what he bought the platform in order to quell and stop.
Right.
So we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how many Russian bots are on there this year.
I don't know. The two assassination attempts, it seems kind of odd at this point. Like, there have been some horrible presidents.
Yeah. And JFK was really the only other assassination, I guess, that we know about. There might have been some that we know.
There's like 8 presidents that have gotten shot at. You got Reagan,
Yep.
Lincoln,
Yep.
uh,
JFK, obviously.
JFK. I looked this up a couple weeks ago.
So 8 of the 45,
Yeah, 46. 46?
a couple of them are the same guy. Yeah, because Trump was 45th. This would be 47, 46 currently, yeah.
All right. JFK,
Yep.
William McKinney,
Don't even know who that fuck
James Garfield,
know who that is.
Abe Lincoln. Those are the ones that have been killed while president.
That was 4.
4. I had no idea. I thought it was just 2.
And then 4 others have been shot at or attempted assassination.
Yeah. Let me see. Who are the other ones?
This is including Trump? Or I guess he's not a sitting president. Are they talking about sitting presidents?
Those were sitting presidents.
Okay.
So, I had a list at some point.
But even so, that's a very incredibly small list.
Yeah.
For him to be on even one of 8 or 10 out of 45, and for it to happen twice. I mean, okay, he does spread a lot of hate and rhetoric and that shit too. But that comes from both sides. And he's been doing that since 2016 when he became fucking president.
Right.
And there's been no attempts at that time, or that we know about.
Right.
So why now? Yeah.
Right. And why not, like, I always thought, like, it was crazy that Obama never had a real attempt
Yeah, I would think
put
so.
on him. I thought for sure that would happen, as, like, obviously hope and pray and that would never happen. And fortunately it didn't, but shocked that that one never came about.
And we have the first female president running ever, and no attempts either.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting.
I think it's weird that the two most obvious places for someone to make an assassination attempt
this is true.
are
Too.
the two places they've gotten these people.
Yeah. How do you get on a golf course like that? Like with, I guess he camped there like overnight or some shit.
Yeah, like 12 hours before.
Okay. So I guess you could do that. I mean, they can't look at everywhere, but that's why the Secret Service goes up a hole
Yep.
to check for motherfuckers. Like,
Now, there was a rumor that it was an unplanned thing, so it is very odd.
how would he know that they were golfing?
Conspiracy.
Huh.
Just
Again,
like-
is this his side making him look good, or is it their side trying to? Is it current sitting president Joe trying? Please comment below.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
How do you not clear a building that's only 150 yards away?
that one still fucking trips me the fuck out.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the only reason why they caught the guy on the golf course is because his gun was sticking through the fence.
Right.
You fucking idiot.
Shooting somebody 101.
So well. And then to fuck that
It
up.
seems so well planned. So they had some clips of this guy, like on YouTube and other things,
Yeah.
where he was trying to recruit people for his
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
But apparently just a crazy dude, right? Voted for Trump in 2016, and I think 2018 too. And then somehow converted to being a Democrat, and I don't know.
I don't know. As soon as you paint your hair 2 different colors, like, I stopped taking advice.
Absolutely. You know what? I've enjoyed a lot of presidents in my time. I've never once worn a fucking shirt or fucking. I may have put a sign up, maybe even flew a flag for a little bit, but I've never like bought a hat or worn a shirt. I guess you know what the fuck I am now. Now there's some Trump supporters that did not do that either. That don't fucking think he's a celebrity to fucking buy a jersey from and get an autograph.
Right.
Like, you're a public servant, bitch. You work for me. I want your face on my chest.
Oh,
I guess I can't say bitch anymore. Sorry. If Kamala wins. I gotta apparently take that word out of my vocabulary. It's just, it's kind of like...
why do you associate the two?
Fuck you. I don't know why I keep continuing to say it, but every time I do, I'm like, should I have said that? Like, am I saying something feminine and that's a bad thing, or? Funniest thing is, I can replace all those words with asshole, and it works beautifully. Everybody has an asshole. Everybody is an asshole every now and then. There is some interesting things that just happened on the Democratic side of the presidential candidacy, and we would be remiss not to mention this because it's huge news. President Biden has dropped out of the race. He is not seeking re-election and has endorsed Kamala Harris as the person to run, which seems to be what the Democratic National Convention is going to come out with too. Seems like, I mean, obviously they got people running numbers on who's possibly win and get there.
Right.
There are 4 people in the ring, but there's emails and social media posts about a bunch of stuff that they're endorsing Kamala.
Right.
They got 2 months. It's just ridiculous. 2 months to do something that is now not even the people's choice of nominee, because they get to decide now.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's America. Like I guess what's your my text, welcome to America, right?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by anything now and how undemocratic the democratic process actually is.
I think because we've talked a lot about like simulation theory.
Yeah.
If there's not a overall simulation theory, this country is 100% a simulation, and like as in, it's all performative.
They could have put it all in pods. More of one. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. This is all a show. Like
Absolutely.
Everything has been thought of for a long time. This is how it was always going to go, in my opinion. I don't think.
Are you talking about fate or destiny here? Oh
no, I'm talking conspiratorial.
no. Intelligent design.
No, I'm talking. I don't think like the president. I don't know how this goes, so I don't have a theory behind this. All I do know is whoever is the president does not have the control that we think they have.
Yeah.
I think that someone else is pulling strings and, lobbyists.
Or the corporations that own the most, like the Koch brothers. If you control the money, you control the interests and you control the laws. Like,
absolutely.
what the fuck are we doing?
It's irritating seeing people like get all up in arms about, oh, I want this person to be president, that person, or hate this person, love this person, whatever.
Everybody's fucking you.
Yeah. And for the most part, they're all on the same fucking team.
Yeah, which way do you want to get fucked? Which hole? Is really what they're asking. You want it right in your mouth or sneakily up your ass?
I think I was explaining this the other day. It's kind of like we're all kind of. I'm going to be careful with my wording here because I feel like some terms, even though they're universal, can be looked at as
shoot as something else.
I think that all of us are just like sheep in the higher ups. Everyone, we're just kind of like getting moved along.
Yeah.
Like we're progressing, but like, we'll go 4 years with one president, 4 years with the next president. Like everything just kind of stays in the middle, but like it's, we're just getting cattled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or herded, I should say. Cattled.
Yeah.
Herded along.
That's what society is. Like I get this whole anti-disestablishment notion that a lot of people have nowadays.
Yeah.
Of I'm in the system, I'm in the bubble, I can't get outside of it. What am I going to do? Let's take a huge, crazy approach to it. Mm-hmm. I think I said it before. It's not, it changes maybe 10% of your life. Mm-hmm. Whoever the fuck's in power. Right. Doesn't change anything about my businesses, doesn't change anything about how I look at my family. And I realize that that's slightly ignorant to say because a huge law could get changed and it would affect you, right? Like if an abortion law gets changed, it would probably never affect me. It could affect somebody. But realistically, not much gets changed when power gets changed.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, how much different, really, if you really get into it over the last 20 years, how much has it really changed?
Yep. And I also hate, and hate is a strong word, and I will use it. I hate people that make their political affiliation their identity. Like, what are you doing?
I think that's been a huge change over. I don't know. When do you think that started?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there's always been hyper liberals and super conservatives.
Right.
But it just seems more lately there's no middle ground anymore. It's just everybody's so fucking. It's probably by the things that we're talking about, the algorithms that show you confirmation bias every time you look. It's hard to think differently.
I think you're right. I think it's more of like an algorithmic thing, like rage, like that people can feel. Like, I think there's more emotion in politics now. Like, my first thought was maybe back in like 2008 when I think it became cool to like politics, like when Obama was running. I think it became like cool to support.
And he went technology heavy too, social media crazy with spending and advertising.
Right.
Not that he was the first, but he definitely spent the most.
Right. I mean, when like, I don't know, George Bush and Bill Clinton were running, like,
Yeah.
that was back in the time when you just don't talk about politics. Like,
Right.
you just keep it to yourself. Now it's more like a lot of people are, no, I am this.
Yeah. And I choose my
1,000,000%.
friends based on.
I'm going to unfollow you because you reposted this. Although, don't post political shit.
That's true. True. But if you want to, be prepared for opposing opinions. Like, what are you doing?
Be okay with it.
Yeah, be okay with it. If you are, and that's what happens. I think we constantly do that on both sides, on every side. And then you surround yourself with people that are exactly like-minded. And then it's hard to see a different perspective.
Right.
I think Andrew was saying it the other day. Is my son. He's talking about how his side and this side, they're just absolutely, I'm like, they think the same thing about you.
Yeah.
And they think they're perfectly justified in thinking that too. So, if we all just had a little bit more compassion and understanding about the human experience, we're all fucked up and struggling.
Right.
Can we just come together and get some shit we need?
Right. And I think that the sides are, this is cliche to say, but I think the sides are closer than they appear.
Oh my God.
Because the heated topics are placed there purposely on both sides.
Yep.
They're placed there to create division. The politicians are not actually pushing for those things that really piss you off on either side.
Half of them don't believe that shit at all.
Exactly. It's there just to divide, but the politicians don't actually change it, and we know that because we've seen.
Divide and distract.
Exactly.
If we're talking about abortion, we don't have to care about campaign finance reform.
We're going to sneak this into this bill. Then we're going to call one thing, but there's 4 million things in that bill, but we're going to call up this one thing.
And all of us in this tax bracket win with that. So let's let that go through.
Right. Special interest, sneaking things in bills. You should vote on one thing.
One thing.
That's it.
Yep. The whole process should be a lot
That
simpler.
term limits. I think you solve most
90% of the problem. Yeah.
But I think if you do that one issue and you cannot opt out of voting, that's your job.
Yeah.
You
what
need
is
to
that?
tell me which way
What
you're
is
voting.
that shit anyway? That's your job to vote and you fucking didn't?
Yeah. You got one job.
That's all you have to do.
But I mean, think about it. Like, if you knew where everyone stood and you only voted on one thing, so you can't like cop out and be like, oh,
yeah.
like this is good, but like that other thing in there.
Of it.
Yeah. No. I want to know how you fall.
Yeah. You'd really know that.
Maybe you don't even need term limits if you do it that way.
Right? And people are like, okay, you're an asshole.
Yeah. You voted fucked up 3 times in a row. You're gone.
Yeah. I mean, the average American doesn't it? What is the voting turnout rate? Like 10, 20% or something like that? I don't think it's 20%. It's crazy.
It's really low.
Yeah. And those people, the swing voters of those people decide who's going to be in charge.
Yeah.
They were all fucked, guys. Is the moral of this story here. What country's good? Tell me a better one. I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot worse too. We don't get to pick, where you're born. So
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't have the luxury to get outside the country. And if they did, they don't want to. Let's close it. Sorry.
All right.
Please like, follow, share, and listen to us for more content. We are going to be doing some live stuff soon, so please stay tuned for that stuff. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.
Cheers.